Jasmine Jasnovici is here. Don't forget to tap into the Darts podcast.
Cal on the ones and twos. We are live for a fantastic episode. And I am here for a big card.
I just don't know what people seen in tape.
I'll see you when that cash.
The main event of the evening.
This is Matt, the steamroller Frivola. Tap into the Darts podcast for all your MMA bets.
And ladies and gentlemen, get your guard up. It's UFC 317. And I am here with Mr. Plus Money, who's getting caught with shots left and right. From my guy Cal on the ones and twos, throwing up elbows. You know, I'm rolling Philly shell. My guy Slick sends his love. He's taking a quick break from the social medias and ones and twos. But we are here to break down this 317 card. Back at it. Took a week off. And wow, guys, first of all, before we break this card down, I got to get your reactions. Jon Jones retires, and immediately legal troubles surface. He just decides to call it quits. Dana said they were close to a fight deal. And of course, a hit and run fleeing the scene number 2 involving a pregnant woman on shrooms. Your MMA GOAT. And now police audio guys coming out of him threatening the officers, saying he could put a hit out on them. It's insane, guys. Plus, got to go to you first. Your thoughts on Jones' retirement?
Very political retirement. This is crazy, bro. That fight that Dana White came out and said was done. Jon Jones agreed it was going to happen. And now all this feels like a political stunt. Something's going on. But yeah, I guess he's retired. I guess that's over. Listen, hey, a silver lining, we can now see the heavyweight champ, the real heavyweight champ, at least today's heavyweight champ, your favorite, Tom Aspinall, start defending the belt, man. And we want to see some of those fights too. So hopefully we can get that heavyweight division up and running again.
It's alive again, Cal, but your thoughts as well on Jones' retirement in the heavyweight division.
Let's move on. That's my thoughts. You know, and it's sort of fitting for me, although I'm a Jones fan, being someone who I met, I got to interview when he was younger, before all of his legal woes and everything else. People have been propping him up. He's an alcoholic, admittedly, and now he's not. And he's getting drunk and getting behind the wheel and getting violent multiple times. He can't handle his booze. That's a fact. So everybody needs to stop, propping him up with this. He has a problem. He gets behind the wheel again, vehicular issue again. A fitting way to end for him to go out in the news with a caption saying something to do with legal troubles versus, him defending the belt. I think that Tom Aspinall deserves to just take that belt and move on with the heavyweight division, and Jon Jones can just go on and do whatever he has to do in jail.
Yeah, I mean, arguably the most skilled and talented fighter to ever grace the 8 sides of the ring, the fence, as they say, ends his career with a dark, dark stain and another problem. So, yeah, never been a role model of a champion, but nonetheless, MMA great, and that's it for Jon Jones. All right, guys, we move forward into an amazing UFC 317 card headlined by Ilia Topuria moving up to lightweight to take on Charles Oliveira on his march towards becoming double champ, leaving featherweight behind after disposing of legends Volk and Max. Unreal fight there. Co-main Pantoja versus Kai Kara-France, flyweight title on the line. Awesome banger and some crazy bangers throughout. So, guys, we got to kick it off by talking 3 fights. And we do that by jumping all aboard the Mr. Plus Parlay bus.
And I'll see you when that shit catches.
Mr. Plus, Parlay bus, bet it all in trust. Jabs and hooks, it's all about the rush. Put it down on the underdog, never hush. Odds stack high, feel the thrill, that's a must. And I'll see you when that shit cashes. Celebrate the wins with...
Plus 400. That's what we're rocking with this week. Hop aboard the Mr. Plus bus. I'm going to jump right into it. I want some reactions from the fellas. Leg number 1. We'll say we were going to fade Dumas, the dumbass, but guys got convicted of so many felonies and arrest charges. He apparently withdrew out of the fight, probably got arrested again for all we know. I heard he had little camp, though. He was training in jail. I mean, I don't know. Let's not go there. Leg number 1 on the bus this week. We're going with Renato Moicano wants money. Bro, Beneil Dariush is no slouch. But this is where Moicano gets to bounce back. We saw him in that Benoit Saint Denis fight, and he just elbowed that guy to shame, got on top, did his thing. Moicano's got the striking and he's got the grappling. I think he's going to be the stronger out of the two in the octagon. And at the end of the day, I know that Beneil Dariush's last losses were to Sarukian and to Charles Oliveira, who we get to see again in the main event. But listen, Moicano's on the way up. This guy's on the way out. 36 and aging are both of these guys. But who's the fresher, younger 36? I'm talking Moicano. He wants the money. He can't afford to lose. That's leg number one. Leg number two, we're going to the next fight. Slick would be proud. Give him a salute. I'm going Brandon Royval. That's our boy's favorite fighter. And man, listen, I'm a big Joshua Van fan. Big Joshua Van fan. But this is a huge levels check, boys. Let's be honest. Royval has fought the top of the top, cream of the crop. Only L in the last 5 fights is to the champ Pantoja, and it was a decision. He went the distance. Man, this guy, Royval, is the real deal. He's hungry. He's deadly. He's dangerous. You want to talk about the better striker? I think it's Royval. Crispy elbows, angles, shots out of nowhere. He'll keep the leg kicks coming. He'll keep you guessing. This guy knows where to take this fight. And if they do get into grappling, it's just a more experienced guy. I think he's more technical where he needs to be in this fight. And I think this is a masterclass by him. Does he put Joshua Van out? Maybe. He's lethal. He's dangerous. But I could see Royval winning a clear 30-27 masterclass decision. And leg number 3 to cash in the bus and give us this plus 406. I'm taking Pantoja. Man, this dude is the professional, right? He's just unbeatable, it seems like, in this weight class. And don't get me wrong, Kai Kara France has that one-hitter quitter knockout power that we saw against Steve Erceg, right? But this is a different guy. We're talking about the champ here, Pantoja. And Pantoja's, man, he's in his prime right now at 35 years old. I think he rules this 125 weight class. And I don't think anybody can beat him. So I get it. They're giving Kai Kara France the shot, but I don't see it. I don't see it, man. Give me Pantoja. Masterclass as well. I mean, I think we could see a submission, maybe a little bit later in this fight, rounds 4 or 5, sub by Pantoja, but I think he gets the job done, and I kind of think it's light work for him, boys. But I'll see you guys when that shit cashes.
Woo! Ending on what he says, Pantoja and still by light work. And honestly, I'm liking what you're putting down. Let's review some of the legs that Mr. Plus has on the plus 405. My guy Cal here. He's starting off, replacing what he was going to have with the debut of Jackson McVeigh, which honestly, guys, Cedric Dumas was caught by police hiding in a dog crate when they caught him committing a home invasion. So
after his last fight,
I was going to auto fade him as well. That's probably part of the reason why this fight's off. It's just absurd. It's more legal trouble. Second arrest in the last year and a half. So no bueno there. Yeah. Instead, you flipped it. Who'd you flip it with again, Mr. Plus? You flipped it with Moicano wants money.
Give me money.
And the key thing I think you said that I really agree with is that they're both 36, but Moicano's durability is on a different space right now. You know, he can get into a dogfight. His aggression and his durability here, I think, are the difference. Dariush, like you said, no slouch, super skilled in every area, scrambly, crafty with his grappling. So maybe he can get out of bad positions with Moicano, right? Maybe he can actually match him there and not just get dominated like BSD and some other guys just start getting elbowed or submitted right away like Jalen Turner, right? Or ground and pounded. But I agree, his striking has improved. And Dariush taking damage at this point, I don't trust him. I think Moicano touches him with a shot, compromises him, takes over the fight. So I really, Dariush hasn't responded great to damage lately against good guys, but Moicano could hurt him, I think. What do you think about that, Cal? You think he's got the edge here?
Yeah, I think that's the story of the fight. I think it's the durability. I think Dariush, once he starts the fight, will have this high grade of level of fighter that you'll see in front of you. As soon as he gets touched, that level of jiu-jitsu, the level of striking starts to dwindle and dwindle. And while he does have some power in his hands, he's a little bit more tense with his strikes and he's a little bit more lower volume, where Moicano is going to be more fluid with his striking and come in with some elbows and dance around a little bit. And it comes down to the fact, too, it's Moicano wants money. And I know he runs that whole thing, but he wants to go out there and perform, and he doesn't give up. And you see him against Makhachev short notice. He gets out grappled, and it is what it is, right? Like, people want to shit him for that and maybe fade him in this fight. It's not a good way to fade him. I think that it's a great idea that, plus looking at it, it's a great bounce back spot for Moicano on a dwindling Dariush.
Yeah, 100%. And yeah, I took that fight against Makhachev on freaking 6 hours notice, right? I mean, you got to take your shot. Can't doubt it. But when he's talking like this, easy money, brother. Dariush, easy money. I'm going to go ahead and believe him, right? He was on a 6-1 run before that Makhachev fight. So I like it. First leg, Moicano, minus 120 there. So I'm betting him straight, and I love the leg there. You got off to a good start, and I wonder.
I don't want to go crazy with this, but he was kind of piecing up Islam before it didn't happen. He was piecing him up, man. He looked good on the feet. If he could have kept it there, who knows what would have happened. But yeah, once he started getting choked, he even said, I never felt a grip like that. That guy's strong. So
yeah. But no fear in his heart. Took the striking right at Islam. Yeah, had his little moments here. 100% true. Here we go. Next leg. You're going with Brandon Royval, man. What a dog fight at flyweight here. But it's almost a shame that he has to fight Joshua Van, because I've been a massive Joshua Van fan, as you said as well, on his come up. I bet him every single fight, including the loss, that one loss he had when he ate the perfectly clean, precise uppercut from Charles Johnson. So Van has shown great toughness, great forward pressure, great vision inside the pocket, never takes his eyes off the target, and really good kickboxing combinations, mixes them to the head and body. I love the kid, man. He's got some wrestling too, but I agree, Mr. Plus. The Royval experience is the difference here. 4 fights against Moreno and Pantoja combined, and he beat Moreno in the rematch, and that proved to me that he's gotten his game to that elite level. He's really upped himself. He knows how to win a close fight. He's squirrely with the movement. He's always feinting and twitchy and explosive and snappy with everything, and I do think Van is really good, but I think this is the line correction, a market overcorrection, I should say, a little bit. I love Van as much as the next guy, but Brandon Royval, I know Bruno Silva. Royval's never been knocked out aside from the arm injury against Moreno, and I'm not counting that, right? He's never been chinned. So I believe he can take a good clean punch from Van and end up, winning this fight with more volume, like you said, Mr. Plus. Cal, how are you seeing this fight playing out? I agree. I think Royval decision, just showing them more volume here.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is sort of a hint to, and I'll just sort of go through my main breakdown on it for my dog of the week. But I mean, Brandon Royval, just this number one is a giant level check. A giant level check on short notice. And while I get stylistically, people might like the idea of Van coming in, stepping inside the pocket and landing body work, which is beautiful body work. And he comes in with the power. You got to get inside on Royval, right? So you're going to have to get past those legs. He's going to use his limbs to keep you away. And then when you do crash the pocket, he's going to possibly take him down and or wrap him up into like a Muay Thai clinch and try to scramble and grapple with him. So I just think that there's a level check here. And when you have all of these variables line up and you give me plus money, it's only plus 100. It may be varied in different books, but you're going to give him as a slight dog. I have to take it. This is one of my sort of systematic plays. When you have a level check, I consider a level check 1000%. And then you give me plus money on the guy who is the better end of the level check all day long. So that's my dog of the week. And once again, let's go with this fucking bus plus 400. Love it.
Yeah, right. We're already off to the races with a minus 120 and plus 100.
From a betting standpoint, money is flowing in on Joshua Van too. So you could wait on this, and I think you're going to get an even better plus sign for Brandon Royval. But when I first looked at it, it was minus 110. Then it was Royval plus 100. Now he's plus 102. And I guarantee some dummies are going to come in with money on Joshua Van just because he's exciting and they like him and forget who Brandon Royval is. And that's where we get paid.
Dude, I like it. And honestly, it looks like the mistake I made from last week. I took Ignacio Bahamondes thinking, man, there's just something special about him. That size, maybe they get some grappling going. Fiziev, where's he at? And I realized, man, Fiziev has a dog. What a foolish mistake by me, right? What an obvious pick. This feels like that, right? How are you going to make Royval the dog here? Like, he's a championship caliber fighter. He's proving it. I love Van as much as the next guy, but I'm with you. Levels check, and I'm going to take Royval to prove it. And make Van prove it to me that he can get past him, I should say. Final leg, Alessandro Pantoja. Dude, this is going to be his 4th consecutive title defense, and I think he does it too. I'm on Pantoja as well, and he's on his way to cementing himself as perhaps the greatest flyweight of all time, right? I mean, look at his resume at this point. The guy just has this knack for winning close fights too. He's able to roll punches. He uses that cardio and that toughness and that kind of unorthodox striking and movement to roll with shots and kind of clip you on the way out as well and mix in that grappling and just never give up on the fight, just relentlessness to him. Those back takes are so lethal. He can start to control the fight, just sit on the back for a round and collect himself, take over the control time and always threaten you and make you feel like you're in danger while he's in control. So I feel like once again, Kai Kara France, that we were doing the Maori freaking tribesman energy that he brings out there. He's nasty, man. That stinging right cross, explosive boxer. I'm not sleeping on Carl-France. I think he could maybe, spark up Pantoja, hit him with a good shot, but I'm trusting that Pantoja chin if that does happen. And ultimately, I think he overwhelms him with the grappling. I'm with you. Plus, I think he can get a submission at some point in this fight. It's a 5-rounder, right? It's a title fight. I don't think over 5 rounds, Pantoja is going to be able to stave off that attack, that grappling attack. So I'm on Pantoja as well. What do you think about this fight, Cal? Co-main event.
Yeah, Pantoja play for me. We'll talk about later. But the idea of on the feet, Kai Kara-France obviously does have him on the feet. But the thing that Pantoja does so well, he hangs with everybody. He's able to hang in there because he has some power in his hands. So on the feet, he's able to, at least get some respect and do some work. And then it's like you said, too, especially in 5-round fights, his ability to be able to take either 1 round or 2 rounds by just getting to the back or getting to that grappling situation and just sort of owning you for a couple of rounds. There's too many variables. And I feel bad for Pantoja. He sort of feels like the Dimitri Mighty Mouse Johnson of the UFC era back then. Nobody gave him respect back then. Nobody gave him, it was the pay-per-view for him. Nobody wanted to watch it. Nobody cared for it. And they'd sort of overshadow him. And he's one of the best champions, talking about Pantoja now out there. So Pantoja, I think, wins this one sort of handily. Just because Kai Kara-France has knocked somebody out recently doesn't mean that I just don't think he's on the level. He's a great kickboxer, don't get me wrong. But that's where it sort of lies. I think he's going to get taken down multiple times in this fight. And I think that a submission could come and or dominant decision, man. I think he maybe gets 1 round in this fight.
Yeah, wow. Dominant work for Pantoja here against Kara-France. I could see it. Yeah, I could see maybe, 1 punch, big punch steals around for Kara-France, but ultimately overwhelmed as the fight progresses for Pantoja. Just too good, man. Too good everywhere. Plus, how are you going to bet it? Decision, submission? You like what'd you say, like a 4th round submission?
Yeah, I think combo submission, 4 rounds, 4-5, something like that. But I'm definitely putting him on the bus, and I'm hoping that last leg cashes for everybody for sure.
Plus 406 when you put together Moicano, Royval as a dog, and Pantoja and still. I love it, man. It's a fun parlay. All right, man, the Mr. Plus Parlay Bus. We're off to a spicy start. I see you guys out here in the live chat. Fire away with any questions you have. We'll bring them up live on the show, and we'll talk any angles you want on these fights. Next up, man, Cal stepping in on the podcast, and we got to give him his own segment. So it's time to get your guard up, but you're not going to be able to stop it because bang, bang, it got through with the Cal 1-2. Oh, he's muted. He's muted. Cal is muted.
Producer muted. And I was actually going to chirp the troll on the comments, but now I have no leg to stand on. So I'll get you later. I love getting you guys in the reels too, but we'll get into the fact that, no intro for me today, and I don't need one. I'm going to go to another one that I feel is a little bit of a level check. And I know that Plus might agree with me on this one. We're going to actually fade someone who Plus loves is Gregory Rodriguez in HoboCop. I got to go with Hermansson, and there's a lot of reasons why. It's almost like he's a death taxes decision guy and or late finish guy. He has that ability to be able to play at range really well. He utilizes all of his limbs really well, keeps you away with the leg kicks, teeps, and then utilizes his wrestling as you crash and enter the pocket. And I think that, a lot of people are looking at the Delidze fight, and they're thinking, with Delidze, how Delidze got to him, that's going to happen again. But I think if those two fight 10 times, I think you see a Hermansson decision where he plays safe on the outside and lands bigger points and gets a couple takedowns in a fight more often than not. So I think I don't like what I'm trying to say is I don't think that lightning is going to strike twice. So I think that Rodriguez doesn't get the big KO. Rodriguez doesn't get a big shot in on Hermansson. He's going to dance around him, take him down at will when he needs to, and may even honestly get him out of there late, because we know that Rodriguez can fade late in the fight. And I know that Hermansson can start to pour it on late once he feels that he has his way. As soon as he starts to feel he has his way, he'll close the distance and land elbows. So the play will be this, ladies and gentlemen. We have, obviously, Hermansson as a dog. He's plus 163. But if you play Hermansson and fight to start round 3, you get plus 209. So be whatever way you want. You can go nice and easy with the dog if you really see this angle, or you can think, okay, Hermansson likely wins a decision where he stays safe. And most of Rodriguez's situations where he's behind in this fight is when you have his opponent who has volume, who can stretch out a decision. So this is going to look a lot like the Petrosian fight. And give me Hermansson, man. I just like him as the dog, and I like him to carry this fight over.
Yo, I like it, man. Jack the Joker Hermansson, veteran performance, taking on, like you said, RoboCop, Gregory Rodriguez, intimidating striker, man. And Mr. Plus, let's get your reaction first, because it's an interesting matchup. What do we got? Hermansson plus 165, something like that right now. What do you think about the matchup stylistically?
I mean, the RoboCop has made me a lot of money, but at the end of the day, I just don't see him winning this fight against Jack Hermansson. And if, from a betting standpoint, the value's all over Jack. Let's be honest. The only thing I don't like about Hermansson, like for me, besides his style's a little slow and it's calculated, but it's slow. But it's kind of like his activity. Man, this guy fought a year and 4 months ago, 2 years and 6 months ago before that. It's just, man, once a year, once every 16 months, just not active enough for me. But, RoboCop is very active. He got fucked up last fight against Jared Cannonier. Lost me a bag on that one. Looking to get it back this week, fading the RoboCop. Big fan. Love the guy. I agree with Cal. He's not going to get the one-punch knockout. I just don't see Jack giving him that. And let's be honest, right after 5 minutes, this dude is gassed. If he's gassed out and you're smart and you have a good fight IQ like Jack Hermansson, you take this fight where it needs to go, whether that's in the clinch, on the ground, or even just gas him out and piece him up a little bit. Because, this guy blocks with his face and his hands down after the first round. That's just what he does. He'll go all out for that knockout, but if he doesn't get it, he's going to lose rounds 2 and 3. So got to give it to Jack Hermansson. Very durable. Just plus money. I can't get away from it.
Yeah.
Plus brings a great point. Sorry to interrupt there, Brasco. But, even with my plays and the way I looked at it, that's great. But you might even want to look at this live. Rodriguez might come out a little bit of a bull in a china shop and maybe even Lance and, have a good first round. And if you see Hermansson get out of that first round, he's just going to run away from him on the cards, in the next 2 rounds. So live might be a way to look at it too. Good point, Plus.
Yeah, for sure. If he gets the lateral movement going too, because we're in the big cage, right? It's a pay-per-view event. He's tough to find as well. I could see Rodriguez trying to hunt him for a long time, but Hermansson just circling left and right, switching up his movement. He's always live for the wrestling attack. I could see him getting top position, keeping control. I think he has a lot of ways to win this fight. I think the line is a little too wide. I definitely like your guys' angles. Him on the late rounds, him by decision, round 3. I'm seeing Hermansson pull away. He just proved that he could stand up to a power puncher like Joe Pyfer. I know there's a 5-rounder, but using that veteran toughness, that movement, that cardio to win a fight late, run that game plan back. I think he wins another fight. So Jack the Joker, live dog here. I'm with you guys. There you go. There's the Cal 1-2. Like you said, fight to start round 3 along with Jack the Joker. You get plus 209. So that's what's up right there. All right, guys. It's time to put your hands together now. Let's begin the Brasco breakdown.
Brasco's breakdown. Brasco's breakdown.
And honey, I'm going to need you to batten down the hatches, get the kids inside, and get to the bunker to your lowest point of shelter. Grab the batteries, grab the water, grab our key essentials. There's a hurricane coming, and it's Hyder, the hurricane, Emil, undefeated. And man, I honestly, I made a pledge that I'm not betting against this guy until he loses. And especially at plus 150 here, plus 155, I got to go with Hyder, the hurricane. Unbelievable chin, just the chin carved from the gods. Slick is a huge fan of Hyder. We were watching his rise. Obviously, he's been in some crazy fights. He's a 35-year-old guy that's rising through featherweight as fast as he can. Because like I said, you look at his record, he's here for a good time. He's not here for a long time. He's in his prime at 35. He's going to fight as much as he can. Got a late start to MMA, but holy shit, he fights with this crazy tenacity and relentlessness. He can mix up his game. We saw him finish Ji-Young Lee in a phone booth fight, finish him with a 30-plus punch combination. He can take anything you throw back at him. He fought William Gomis, skilled kickboxer in the last one, won a hard-fought split decision, battled, never gave up. Turned out he had a torn meniscus in that fight too, so just fought through injury, just another testament to his toughness. And I think he can weaponize his cardio successfully again to win this fight. Now, it's going to be a really tough one because he takes on Jose Delgado, super skilled guy, slick striker. He's training out of MMA Lab. That's the gym of Sean O'Malley and a lot of other skilled fighters out of there. So, these guys are no joke. And he's really nice on the mat as well. I noticed he's got some smooth jiu-jitsu. So I do worry slightly about Hyder there because he does create a lot of wild exchanges. He's willing to mix in the grappling, and he might regret scrambling with Delgado, who's got a lot of skill. He can threaten with submissions. I worry if Hyder gives up bad positions here, has to, work off his back and shit like that, right? So I'm going to need Hyder to be a little smarter than he normally is, I think. But I think his intangibles can win him this fight. Delgado can crack, and he's probably going to hit Hyder with some good shots, but you got to separate this guy from consciousness to beat him. He's going to be a dog. He's going to be competitive in every round and every exchange. I think he could land some shots and kind of equalize the skill, right? Will versus skill, as they say. And if it gets ugly, I want Hyder all day in this fight. So I'm going to take him on the spread as well when that market comes out on DraftKings. Probably have him at least steal around, right? Maybe plus 3.5, plus 7.5 parlay legs if they're good odds, right? As the underdog too, because I don't see anyone finishing Hyder. And I think he's super live in this fight. What do you guys think? Maybe Hyder decision or Hyder late finish, perhaps, if he breaks him. Mr. Plus, thoughts on Hyder the Hurricane?
Hyder the Hurricane. His head is a helmet, fucking durable, chin of granite. I'll be honest, I really do like this Jose Delgado kid, though. Remember him on the Contender Series with the KO. Right after that, the KO to Connor Matthews. Believe it or not, if you go back and look at this kid's stats and his rap sheet, man, his every single win is a finish except like his first win. This kid is a finisher. I don't know if he can finish Hyder because Hyder's got that steel dome piece, but man, this kid is exciting. This could very well be the banger of the night. I'm gonna be honest, man. I gotta lean plus money, but I won't be surprised. And I'm only betting it straight. And Hyder's not going in parlays. I like the spread bet you said. I don't think this makes it to the end though. No matter which way it goes, I do lean plus money. But if Jose Delgado wins, man, this kid's a prospect, and I'm not going to be surprised.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, because if you don't think this fight goes the distance, then throw the spreads out the window. But it's going to be a dog fight, I think, and you're absolutely right. Delgado's the favorite for a reason, right? I said all those great things about Hyder. Delgado's really slick, so Hyder's going to have a lot to overcome. Cal, what do you think? Can he do it? Can he make this competitive?
Yeah, I mean, Delgado really is slick. The ground game is very dangerous, and the striking pretty high volume and pretty precise. Emil brings hell though, and whenever you get him in plus money, he's it's hard for multiple reasons. Both guys are over 6.5 strikes per minute, so both guys are throwing extremely high volume. This is ability to be the fight of the night, to be honest. Next, although Delgado has him in the grappling game and has 4.8 takedowns so far in the 2 fights in the UFC, it's only 2 fight sample size. Emil's takedown defense is 80%, and I think his physicality is going to help counter grapple there. I think he's going to be able to get out of situations because he has that strength. But this fight may come down to one moment. If Delgado cinches up a choke, and if Emil can relax for a minute and get out of that choke, if he gets out of a hard situation, you might want to live bet an Emil situation there, because the moment he gets out of that hard submission attempt or whatever it might be, I mean, he's going to bring hell. This is going to be a really fun fight, and I get the plus money pick for a high volume fight. So the physicality versus the grappler, the high volume on both ends for the striking, it's going to be a hell of a fight.
I love that idea too, right? Because that's such a mental shift too. If someone, a really talented, young, up-and-coming fighter thinks he's got you out of there and then he doesn't, it's like the first really time they're like, holy shit, have I met my match? Like, have I met someone that can go toe-to-toe with me? And then maybe you see the tide turn when they make that mental shift too. So like the look there. Hyder to weather the storm himself, the Hurricane to weather the storm, and then to take over. I absolutely love it, man. If it's 1-1 going to the third, like Slick says, I want Hyder and Emil. All right, y'all. That's my Brasco breakdown, and we're moving and shaking on this UFC 317 card. I see my guy Efren Palma in the live chat, Anthony Ramirez. Appreciate you guys being with us. Let us know if you want to talk any questions that you're thinking about for this card. Next up, y'all, we got to go to the big ticket fight. Lightweight challenge for Topuria. It's time to talk about the main event of the evening. Let's go. And if you haven't already, hit that like button for us. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. We're talking Ilia Topuria versus Charles Oliveira at 155 here. Ilia, like I said, leaves Volkanovski and Holloway in the shadows and decides to move on up. And before he takes on Makhachev, Makhachev's going to fight Jack Della Maddalena first, move him, go up himself. Topuria is going to take on Oliveira and look to make his mark at 155. And this is an interesting one, man. Well, Topuria is freaking minus 410, minus 440 now. And I think for good reason, because holy smokes, the way that he sets up his attack is so intelligent. His fight IQ is off the charts. And I'm starting to believe what he says. I was on Max Holloway, right? I thought he had a chance. And he looked good until he didn't, right? But that's exactly it. Ilya's just downloading reads and just making his reads that he needs to weave on center line so tactically and then just rise with those hooks or find that shot when he sees that opening on you, like he did when Holloway was switching stances, right? He breaks it down so intelligently too. I think he's only getting better, and I think Charles Oliveira has been hurt by way lesser guys, way less intelligent strikers. The wild man, Michael Chandler, almost had him out of there, right? He's been finished 7 times in his pro career, 35-10 record. Charles, the king, submission king, amazing. Big size advantage here. I just don't think it'll matter. Ilya says he's going to get him out of there in round 1. I'm going to believe him. I'm going to take him in round 1 and round 2. The only question mark, guys, I think he's going to find the shot. I think if, Oliveira is going to fail to effectively use those long-range weapons. If he wants to control range, for 25 minutes to not get knocked out by Topuria, using the front kicks, using his long, straight right hand. I know Charles is an improved striker, but I just don't see him being able to stave off Topuria over 25 minutes. It's too dangerous of a prospect, right? So that's really ultimately how I see it, guys. And I think he finds a knockout in rounds 1 or 2. I like round 1 plus 200. I like round 2 plus 400. I like rounds 1 and 2 minus 110, or Ilya and under 1.5 plus 120, something like that, or just knockout minus 160. But what are your thoughts, guys? Here, I'll throw a few things to you because I went on about how I love Ilya in this spot. I'm done doubting him. I'm just done doubting him, right? And I'm going to listen to what he says because he's Mystic Mac 2.0. First of all, do you think maybe if you do like Ilya, that he could go for the sub over the sub king, Charles Oliveira, and kind of want that mark on his record? Does he care about that? And second, first of all, I'll go to you, Mr. Plus. Do you think Charles Oliveira can win this fight?
Man, I'm not ready. I'm not saying I'm not jumping on the Ilya Topuria wagon. Obviously the Matador is different and he's special, but he was super special at 145. Is he going to be as special at 155? I don't know, man. I'm definitely not ready to put this line in parlays and just say, oh yeah, this is the casher for the last fight of the night. I'm not ready to go there, man. I'm really not. Do Bronx is different. Do Bronx, and you were talking about him trying to keep range. That's not even how he fights. He likes to get in close when he is striking. He'd rather take the elbow to the face than rangy punches. Definitely got mean kicks. But yeah, Topuria, wow, crafty boxer. When he gets in close, like you said, he's downloading. When he finds it, he finds it. But will he find it against the next weight class up? I don't know. I see a lot of hype online and social media. Oh, he's 186 out of water now, fucking gonna cut 30 pounds just to get down to 55, but he looks ripped. So what, did he put on 40 pounds of muscle? That doesn't even make sense to me. That doesn't make any sense to me. So I don't know, man. I'm not sold. A little bit too much hype around Ilya Topuria for me. I feel like, and the UFC is very unpredictable sometimes, maybe we get a wake-up call from Do Bronx and someone's getting the belt, right? Because the belt is vacant now. Islam's moving up. This is for the belt. And Ilya, the ranked Ilya at 17 in the 155 weight class. Do Bronx is 2. Do Bronx has fought the best of the best. I don't know, man. I gotta lean plus money and not give up on my boy and take a shot at this. I was on the right side of Ilya on his last fight when he knocked out Holloway, and I was on the right side I was on the wrong side on Volk. So I don't know, man. I sometimes I'm like against this guy. It's hard to keep doubting him because he keeps winning, but this is 155. This is lightweight. This is different. I think we might get a wake-up call.
Wow. The prediction for Do Bronx, Charles Oliveira, Cal. I'll first say these two things before I throw it to you. Number one, Ilya Topuria, by his own calculation, said he'll probably be closer to 175 on fight night when he rehydrates. I believe this guy, man. He's so perfect. He's he's a prime athlete. You know, he knows what he's doing here. Second, Georgian bone density. These guys are literally built from different skeletal fibers than most humans. That he had unprecedented power at 145. I think it's going to carry over just fine at 155. Cal, your thoughts on this vacant lightweight title fight?
Yeah, I think it might have been Brian Petrie from the Anakin Florian podcast had mentioned that he had got to shake his hand and it reminded him of Dan Henderson in the way that he was just so damn solid. Like, you don't expect the physicality of looking at the person you're seeing, but he just built like a tree. So although he's small, I'm going to go with Topuria. I got to back you on this one, Brasco. I got to go with Topuria in this. And the reason why I went back and forth and I tried to watch how I thought this playing out. And the way that Bronx wins is usually he takes some damage, he wakes up, and he makes guys miss a little bit after they hit him and they go after him and they get a little bit tired, they get their adrenaline dump, and then he takes over. There's one huge problem with two things. And one thing that Plus had said was, first, preciseness. The preciseness of Topuria is ridiculous. Even in scrambling and running, whatever, like he'll chase after you and he lands and lands and lands. He's one of the highest percentage strikers out there as far as once he gets on the kill, he's landing those shots. So I don't know if Oliveira is going to be able to escape once he gets touched once. And if you want to not play that distance game and actually crash the pocket and even try to grab up, he's going to use that body work. And actually, where I see this fight, finishing, I think that Topuria is going to drop him with some body work. I think that you're going to see Bronx go high guard to try to pull him down, to try to get him into a clinch, and you're going to see Topuria drop some body work and gas him out quick. I just think that the power is going to be the difference, and I see that I definitely don't see a sub. I just think that he either gets him out of there in the second or third round because I just don't see that Bronx game plan is going to play or pay dividends in this one.
I like that read. I like that dig the hook to the liver on the high guard, the Muay Thai style. If he's going for that clinch work, definitely could see him just feinting high up, especially if he makes him buy the left hook up top, right? And then he's scared about that. I mean, Topuria's hooks are vicious. So once he makes you believe it, even if it lands hard on the guard, you're wary. And then he's sticking the high guard up top. He digs one to the liver. Bronx falls. I like the prediction. Maybe Mystic Cal on the read there. Plus, of course, is going with the fan favorite. He's here for the people. He's going Bronx. I respect the pick, too, because what a freaking legend. Plus, you think he has a chance to sub him if it hits the mat? He's going to pull off a legendary sub?
Absolutely, bro. He's going to do something that's not been done before. Absolutely. And, dude, you're going to give me this kind of ticket on Bronx? I got to take it every time. There's just no way. 3.5 to 1? I got to go with that. And, I mean, again, I get it. 176, rehydrate. Bro was cutting to 145 and not missing weight. I don't know.
But to back you, Plus, for you, like, it's somebody you back so much. So for you not to go with him at this price tag would be a poor gamble. Like, you have to go with him on this. You have to back your bet.
The last 3 fights I had him, he was a great line against Dariush. I think he was even a dog. Sarukian got him in a split decision, but I think that we won that fight, although they did take my money. And, of course, the Michael Chandler dub, that was a good one.
Yeah, I can't believe it. Dude, looking back in hindsight, I was like, how was Dariush minus 140 in that? And I also had Chandler in that fight, and I was so upset that he lost that fight. But that was a legendary moment of Charles, the comeback king, right? He can come back on you. My thing in this one, man, ain't no coming back from them Ilya shots, man. You go to the land of wind and ghosts, straight shadows, and I think he gets a third legendary shadowing, and we're looking at Ilya's record, and we're saying, holy shit, is he already amongst the goats? Here we go, guys. Onward we march. Main event talk. Awesome stuff from Mr. Plus and Cal here on the 1s and 2s joining us this week. Let's let him out the cage, boys. It's time for the dogs of the week. All right, y'all. Cal, you got a dog to give us here? You can jump it off for us. Who you got?
I did already talk about it briefly, and I'll just touch on it quickly again. I just think that when you get Brandon Royval in a dog situation, even if it's not plus money fight time, I mean, he's just got 4 limbs versus 2. He's got more overall skills versus more of just a stand-up game on the other side. You got short notice on the other side versus already planned full camp. I know it's a quick turnaround for Van, and he's young, and it gives him something, but I just see Royval just sort of outclassing him here. This is a giant level check. And when you personally are a fight fan and you see a level check and the level check who's, the good end of the level check is at plus money. You got to take it.
I like it. I'm with you on Royval. I know a lot of people will be against us too. I think we're all three on Royval plus. Any other thoughts? What do you think about the method of victory? You think decision you were saying before?
I think, Royval masterclass. I could see him putting Joshua Van away. I mean, if you got slept and knocked out by the KO or the uppercut from Charles Johnson, you might be taking an elbow and going to sleep from Brandon Royval. You want me to get right into my dog? I know we already talked about a few dogs. We gave you guys Royval. The 1-2 was Jack Hermansson. That's who I was originally going to talk about. I just told you guys I like Du Bronx. That's a plus money play. But I'm going to go to a different fight because we didn't get to talk about this one. Instead of this being an honorable mention, this will be my dog of the week. I'm going with friend of the pod. Give me Slava Claus to beat Terrence McKinney, because if McKinney doesn't kill in the first round, which I do think our boy Slava Claus has a high enough fight IQ to withstand the first round, I think he can win the second and third for us for sure. I think he's got the grappling edge, even though he's a striker. I think he's going to be stronger. And I just see McKinney always, just like you just said, Cal, the adrenaline dump is so real. If he doesn't knock you out in 2 minutes, it could be your fight. And he might, if he doesn't knock you out in the first 2 minutes, that means that Slava Claus could actually win the back half of round 1 and win rounds 2 and 3. It's a great spot for you to take that plus 3.5 spread if you're spread betting on DraftKings. But I honestly think Slava Claus gets his hand raised against somebody with very little fight IQ like Terrence McKinney versus someone who has decent fight IQ like our boy Slava Claus. And again, he hasn't looked too good the last 3 fights. He did get the win against the Lontop, which was a split. But I think like McKinney's kind of like a level down. And again, it's because of that kill or be killed mentality. So I got to go with our boy Slava Claus for my dog of the week.
Slava Claus is coming to town, man. I picked him too in my write-ups too this week for Sportsline. And I did my official selection was no play, but my prediction was Slava. So essentially dog or pass, and I'm back in Slava. Our boy here, I mean, first of all, we just love the guy. Great personality, great dude. And he's a sharp kickboxer, man. It's his grappling deficiencies that have let him down. All the times he's 3-4-1, I believe, in the UFC with a draw against Nazim Sedyakov and an awesome banger of a fight in Madison Square Garden. I was in attendance for. Oh, fan for life immediately. And we see how great Nazim is, right? So Slava trading back and forth with a guy like that. He can do that when he gets into striking affairs. But Chase Hooper overwhelmed him. Guys like Mike Davis, Mark Khabib, when he was doing that, right? He just gotten out wrestled a lot of times. And the problem I fear here, I mean, McKinney could go to the grappling, right? He does have those back takes, those rear naked chokes. So that's why Slava's probably a dog, right? But if it's on the feet, like Mr. Plus said, McKinney throws everything, caution to the wind in the first round. He's an explosive, unpredictable guy, flying knees, crazy punching power, right? High kicks too. But maybe if Slava takes it a little deeper, maybe if he's able to weather that storm and not get grappled up, he finds his own shots. McKinney's there to get hit too. So, McKinney is 16-7 in his pro career, never once been to the judges' scorecards. Every fight has ended inside the distance. So, plus, I don't know if you want those spreads because this one probably ain't seeing 23 fight sample size, 0 called by the judges in the final bell. Cal, how do you see this one playing out? I think Slava knockout or McKinney sub.
Yeah, 1000%. This was a tough one for me to even put a play out on because of my, relationship, I guess, that I talk to Slava pretty regularly now. So it's like, it's hard for me to even put a bet out because my first thought, I'm going to be honest, and I scared even saying this one first, but I was worried about the sub first from McKinney. And if McKinney goes to that takedown right away, this is where I'm going to make this. Slava goes into my live pool this week because if Slava gets up from that first takedown or McKinney doesn't show that he wants to go for a takedown, then Slava's taking over 2 and 3 easily. McKinney is a bet for no distance for me always, or McKinney round 1 or fight to end in round 1 because the guy is bang or bust. The guy goes all in, his adrenaline dumps, as you said. And although Slava hasn't looked that great, like against Chase Hooper, he said straight up, he did not see Chase Hooper going in with a striking game plan right out of the gate. He made fun of Chase, even though Chase sort of tagged him. He said Chase just sort of closed his eyes, didn't even know what he was doing and threw that punch and landed it. But I mean, he caught him, and then Slava sort of couldn't recover from that. His biggest problem has always been the takedowns. He's been taken down the most, I think, in the division. A lot of takedowns when people commit to the takedowns, but he does get back up and scramble on you. So if McKinney does take him down and for some way Slava gets back up again, McKinney's got no gas. No gas. So, I mean, Slava's a good dog live for me, but I think, I can't not go with Slava Claus, friend of the podcast and somebody who's been great to us, both my podcast and yours.
Let's go. Let's hope for Slava Claus to come back in town. We like the guy. We're rooting for him here. It's a winnable matchup. Bro, McKinney minus 180. Get that out of my face. No chance I'm laying McKinney as a minus 180 favorite. Like that's just
no new rule. Any fucking fighter that's friend of the pod never gets left in the honorable mentions. We have to pick them in one fucking segment or another.
I love that rule. I love never to be forgotten. Friends of the pod are featured on the pod. That's a great rule plus. All right, man. My dog of the week. We talked about it. You guys convinced me in the lead up to this one. I like Jack the Joker too, man. I think he can win a decision. I think he can outlast Gregory Rodriguez, weather an early storm, maybe use the lateral movement, the big cage, low kicks, constant movement. Find me, can't find me, frustrate you. Ha, I'm scoring. Ha, I'm scoring. You're still looking for that hook. Can't find me. Ha, grappling attack. You're clinched up. Oh my God, quick takedown. Jack Hermansson, annoying decision. Gotcha. Let's go. Jack the Joker right there. Plus 180 right now. Come on. It's too wide. Is Gregory Rodriguez really just going to chin him? Also, where is he at after that Cannonier law? Cannonier beat the shit out of it. We thought he had Cannonier out of there. And then Cannonier said, nah. And
dude, that line is definition of recency bias. Sorry to interrupt. That is the recency bias line if I've ever seen one in my life.
This line on Rodriguez? But what's the bias? Because he got Cannonier beat him up. I mean, he was hurting Cannonier bad, but Cannonier hurt him.
It's because Hermansson got checked. So it's the idea of people looking at the stylistic matchup of him getting checked by Delidze and a power guy, and then Rodriguez being a power guy, and they sort of play it off like that. Whoever's a smart ass that made the line, I think it's off completely.
Fucking 2.5 years ago, and then he didn't get checked by Joe Pyfer. He fucking masterclassed his ass. That ain't even that impressive anymore. Joe Pyfer ain't looking like the Joe Pyfer we saw on the Contender Series fighting a bunch of cans. As soon as he starts fighting people with skill, he ain't the same Joe Pyfer anymore.
Hey, man, I mean, he almost had Gastelum out of there in the last fight. He beat Gastelum, even though Gastelum's tough as shit. And he almost had her. He had Hermansson hurt. But, yeah, like you said, he's still learning on the job. Can't overrate these guys. The lines, they get overinflated. We got to catch these things. We got to be wary and be cautious because, sometimes we get too hyped, too, on these guys coming up and realize, holy shit, it's a different game. One level up, right? One different style up, right, that they're not quite prepared for. So, interesting matchup there, though, between two veteran middleweights. All right, guys, dogs of the week. We got them out. And now we got to come together, guys. We got to lace them up. Jasmine, it's time for a Darce Parlay.
AJ.
Oh, all right, Mr. Plus, you got the first leg. This is an interesting fight, one we haven't talked about yet. Women's going at it. Women's is going at it. That's English. What's your pick?
I am doing a level check bet here, boys. First leg of the Darce this week. We're going with the girl who fought the best of the best, Tracy Cortez. Man, she put it on our girl, JJ. She's got stand-up. She's quick. She's slick. I really think the experience and just the edge in her resume is there. The line's right. I think she's a 2.3 to 1 favorite, something like that, minus 230, minus 260. I like her just everywhere, all around. Not only do I like her everywhere, all around, I think she's younger, stronger, fresher. Man, I think this is an easy 30-27, although I do think it goes distance. I'd like to see her more active. She only fights once a year. She took that little layoff. Aruja's definitely fighting more often, but either way, she's losing a lot more often too. I'll take Tracy Cortez in an easy bounce back after that Thug Rose loss.
Yeah, this is an interesting bout to me. Like you said, coming off that loss, had momentum going, hurt our girl JJ, right? Broke her orbital bone. JJ fought tough as nails nonetheless, but props to Cortez, who's improved her boxing, which really helps set up her wrestling attack. If she can mix the two together, that's when she's at her best. And her first 5-round fight against her highest level of competition yet, Rose level checked her, right? And she fought tough, man. She fought to the end, had that tough weight cut. Remember, was cutting her hair. Everyone was hyped on her. I got kind of caught up with that steam too. I took her as a dog, and Rose said, welcome to the top of the game. So I think she could take those lessons, and I agree. Get a win here. I think she can mix in her boxing with her wrestling, let her hands set up the takedowns. Araujo is a fighter that has great veteran experience. She's got good boxing, good power for the division, but she can fade in the third round. We've seen her get a little fatigued later on. And if she's forced to defend takedown after takedown, if Cortez is relentless with it, if she sticks to that game plan, I think she can outgrind her in this fight. But I do think it might be a little closer personally than the odds suggest. I think it could be 29-28 Cortez, and it's a good hard-fought win. Because we saw Araujo, Cal, turn away Karine Silva, good grappler in her last fight, right? And she said, hey, welcome to, a level check of yourself. Cortez, I rate higher than Karine Silva, just overall game experience. And I agree with Plus. She gets the bounce back. But what do you think? How do you see it playing out?
And it's a grappler versus a wrestler, right? Cortez is she got a solid base, and we can all make jokes about that, but that solid base serves her well in her grappling and her wrestling. And that was part of the problem for JJ too. When you have a strong wrestler that can actually counter wrestle too, and then has good striking, it's a problem. And against Thug Rose, she was never going to win that striking battle against Thug Rose, and Thug Rose can get up off the mat too. And then when she gets back to the feet, few girls can beat her. But what Tracy Cortez does bring is very improved boxing. Her boxing, although against the elite of elite, she'll be one step behind. She can land those, 3 to 4 punch combinations. She has some mean hooks, and I mean, you credited, and I was going to bring that up. She cracked JJ hard in that first round, cracked her orbital bone, shows that she has power in her hands, right? You don't just crack orbital bones without power. So I just think that wrestling and boxing beats, although Araujo has some solid boxing, she'll get into like some clinch work on the cage, and I don't think that serves her well against Cortez, who's just going to turn it around on her and get her down to the mat. So I just like Cortez everywhere here. I think the line is pretty even or pretty fairly matched or fairly lined. So Cortez all day on this one, and I think she's a great spot.
All right, nice. So the fellas liking the parlay piece. Hey, man, they say the line's right. I say it's a little wide, but hey, I'm feeling a lot better about the leg. I'm liking Cortez by decision for sure. That's a prop I might look to play myself. All right, Cal, you got the next leg up. Who do you got for us?
Yeah, we're just gonna go to the co-main, and I got to go with Pantoja. Like I said, he reminds me of Mighty Mouse. He just keeps winning. He's a champion who's underrated by absolutely everybody. And although Kai Kara-France does bring, striking to the table, he can still get taken down by a guy like Pantoja multiple times, who's crafty with either a wrestling shot or he'll get you with a BJJ takedown. He'll slide off the side and grab you down. And Kai Kara-France just isn't going to be ready for that if it goes to those late rounds. And although he has fought at the level before, it's just he's still always going to be this one style. It's striking, and then everything else is going to be so far behind. And I think that Pantoja presents a problem everywhere. And I think that his striking is underrated. Everybody, although he hangs in there and he looks sort of sloppy and he does get tagged at times, that's how he survives and that's how he fights. That's his fight style. He gets in there and he gets in the trenches. So exactly. He does that sort of bob and weave, and it looks like he's getting hit sometimes more than he is. But he's the champ. It's 5 rounds, and what he makes up for in the loss on the feet, he gets up and control time on the ground. So we'll go with Pantoja. I like him as a parlay leg.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that he kind of takes shots on the shoulder, right? He ends up like kind of rolling them off in weird kind of Gumby ass ways, but he found a way to work, man. And it works for him. Applied with that pressure. We're taking Pantoja and still Mr. Plus, the final leg of this parlay for us. I'm going with Topuria, man. I got to go with it. So I know you got to play on Charles. Hey, maybe that's a nice little hedge for us. We got the Darts parlay. We get those first 2 legs. We're looking at a final main event leg. And I think that Ilya gets it done, man. There's no way that I'm doubting his greatness. I'm done not listening to him. And like he said, he had to find Volk. He had to find Holloway, right? He said, I'm not going to have to find Oliveira. He comes forward. Oliveira's not a guy that's fighting on the outside. You said it yourself, Mr. Plus. He's coming. Ilya says, come forward, man. You're getting knocked out in round 1. Give us Ilya. What's that parlay? I didn't even put it together. We got Cortez, Pantoja, Topuria. Let me mix that up right now. Cortez, bang, minus 250 right now. We got Pantoja minus 245, Topuria minus 470. We're at plus 140. Not mad at that. Plus 140 for the Darts.
Yeah, he absolutely is going to be going forward, Bronx. That's just the way he fights, man. He's a thug. Man, I can't wait to see that fight.
Oh, my God. Banger Incorporated. All right, man. It's time for the fights that we have not talked about yet. Let's go to the honorable mentions. Not too many more to cover. The first one is the widest line of the night, though. Nico Price, the bones of Nico Price, I fear, plus 1,100. Jacoby Smith, minus 2,100. Unprecedented favorite, but Cal, holy shit. Smith looks devastating. His power is unreal. I think the first shot he hits Nico Price with, I think it's wraps. If there's any way to bet this fight, I'm probably taking Smith round 1 knockout. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to bet this fight, that's the only way to do it. I actually initially, before I started even looking at the lines, I always look at everything else first, and I was all over playing Jacoby Smith in a variance of KO, but it's going to be hard to find value anywhere unless you just go round 1. Nico Price just can't handle damage, and although he's looked decent at points, look at his wins recently. Honestly, look at them. What, Alex Morono, the guy who finds his way out of every fight? Yeah, no dice. I'm sorry. He gave that one to Price, in my opinion. And while he is a great guy and a good dad and this fisherman and this happy-go-lucky guy, he goes in there and gets fed to the Wolves. And I think he's getting fed to the Wolves here. This is a very obvious lay up on the plate, stake up on the plate kind of fight, right? Like Jacoby Smith's going to come in here and knock him out. I wasn't a fan of Jacoby Smith in Dana White Contender Series as he knocked out my friend. But at the same time, let's move on from that. As he steps into the UFC, I just think that they're trying to tee him up, man. This is pretty simple.
Yeah, odds need to tell you everything you need to know, and that's exactly it, Mr. Plus. Nico Price is too susceptible to damage, and Jacoby Smith is too dangerous. Your thoughts?
Yeah, we don't have the line yet for round 1 knockout on FanDuel, but that's probably the play. Just like Wellmaker, what was that last week, the week before last? That's the only way to play this minus 1,800. Nico Price supposedly has 10 children and needs to fight for money or something like that. And yeah, I mean, honestly, the way that I would usually play it is Jacoby Smith round 1 KO or Nico Price to round 2 to start. Nico Price to survive round 1. But this kid, Jacoby Smith's got 10 wins on his record. 7 of those 10 are round 1 knockouts. Yeah, I think they're bump set. Time to spike this one up for fucking teeing up for Jacoby.
Yeah, I think I might have to take the Nicolas Cage prop, gone in 60 seconds, or take, so literally fight to end in under 60 seconds, or take under half a round, which might be a nice plus money tag, and just see if Nico Price might get, like I said, first shot that he really good shot takes, just, chicken dance begins, and that's the end of the beginning of the end before you knew it. So that's how I see it playing out. Smith is the line for the line. For a reason. Next fight up, heavyweights, kind of with skill going at it. Jonata Denise versus Alvin Hines, a guy from the LFA who's got multiple wins on the ground with submissions, with ground and pound. He's got a head kick win as well. I watched a little film on him. He's an interesting guy. But Jonata Denise looking to come back from his first career UFC loss, Cal. He took a loss to Marcin Tybura. Doctor stoppage, man, hurt him. He made some nasty work on it. They had to call the fight. Denise, though, he's got kickboxing skill. He's pretty measured on the feet, right? Hard, low kicks, and he's got pop in his shots. What do you think about him as a minus 300 favorite coming back as looking to bounce back here? I don't know about all that.
I'm not ever a huge favorite or a fan of Denise being a minus 300, but I mean, this is sort of a case of a baby level check. You just said it there. Denise, look who he just fought, right? So he's already sort of climbed a baby mountain. He's already sort of fought some of the who's who in the division. And now he's fighting a guy who's going to enter in who looks like he has some tools. Like if you watch some tape, it looks decent, but I can't qualify it yet. I have no idea. So, I mean, if you don't just take Denise to win inside the distance on this or by KO, I mean, it sort of seems like the only play if you're going to touch it. But even then, I might just stay off this one or just play the violence or even parlay the violence. This is early in the night. Parlay violence into something else. I mean, but yeah, I mean, Denise likely to decide. Don't like the line. But this kid, I mean, I just don't know. But it feels like a baby level check.
Yeah, I think if anything, seeing the submissions and some of the work that Hines has done on the regional scene, plus he'd have to take it to the ground because that's where Denise got abused, right? But if it's on the feet, I mean, the over-under is 1.5 rounds at minus 110. Do you think this one is Denise quick knockout, perhaps?
I mean, I think someone's getting slept, and Denise ain't even that good. He showed last fight against Tybura, who's definitely a level check for him, but he got KO'd, doctor stoppage. I mean, bro, Alvin Hines, a.k.a. Goozy, this dude has fought 4 times in the last 4 months and won all of them by finish. I'm not sleeping on this guy. He's getting a shot in the UFC for a reason. He looks like the Thing from the fucking Fantastic Four. And I don't know, man. I'm not sold on Denise after I saw that last fight. And listen, I know it was Tybura. I know he was taking a step up, but I mean, he got his ass kicked. And he didn't even look good the fight before that against Carl Williams. Didn't look great. He did get the win, but didn't look great. Before that, he looked good, but, he's fighting Austin Lane cans and fucking, contender series nobody. So, yeah, Denise hasn't proven shit yet. I think these guys are on the same exact level, 7-0 versus 8-1. Denise just got called up to the UFC a couple fights before him. That's kind of where it's at. This Alvin Hines, Guzzi, probably going to be a low level heavyweight, but hey, the heavyweights need all the help they can get. Hopefully this dude's exciting. 4 times in 4 months, all finishes. I'm ready to see this dude finish Denise. Fuck that shit. Fuck the bullshit.
Bro, after my loss on Hamdi Abdel Wahab, I'm trying to take low-level heavyweight underdogs. Like, you're right. At this level, fuck it. Like, who knows who's good? Who knows who's
That's
good?
a good point by Plus, though, and I didn't know that he had fought 4 times in whatever amount of short time. Momentum is such a huge thing in MMA, whether it's team momentum or just one fighter solo momentum. So, I mean, hey, you might see value in that. But I'm just going to play the violence.
Guzzi. Now that I know his nickname, too, I'm like, shit, man. Dog or pass?
Bro.
Dog or
Guzzi.
pass?
I ain't fucking with Guzzi, bro.
I'm rooting for him. He looks
That's a real
crazy, too. His appearance, it really looks like the freaking rock guy from Fantastic Four, man. So maybe
he's scary, bro.
All right, man. Guzzi it is. I'm sold. Alvin Hines. What other fights have we not talked about? We got to talk about Peyton Talbot taking on Felipe Lima. This is a really, really good bantamweight fight. And Talbot finds himself the plus 160 dog, Lima minus 190. Maybe some people are surprised. Talbot coming off that level check to Raoni Barcelos, where he just kind of showed he's, has some deficiencies in the takedown defense, the grappling defense. He can be beat, right? He can get MMA'd still by well-rounded guys. And I think that's why the line is what it is, man. Lima's a good grappler, too. He's a really athletic kickboxer, sharp kid, right? He's technical. He mixes up his attack nicely. He's fast in and out of range. But he can also take you down. He can scramble. He can take your back. And we saw him finish Muhammad Naimov. Felipe Lima finished him with a rear naked choke in that last fight and showed a lot of resolve and fought through some tough, Naimov hurt him. So this kid's just showing me something, man. And I'm really high on Talbot. I still think the sky's the limit for him. He's super creative with his attack. I really like his kickboxing, but he looks like a guy that's going to keep learning on the job. He's still pretty inexperienced, right? Some of his wins are over lower level guys, and Lima looks like the better guy right now to me overall. So that's how I'll say it. Mr. Plus, what do you think about that analysis? You think that's fair where the line is?
I think that's very fair. I think they were setting up Peyton to get some dubs in the beginning, and he definitely got them. And he was flashy and exciting, and everybody started backing him. And then, they gave him Barcelos, big level check. And I'll be honest. I think that both the guys that Naimov and Miles Johns would probably fucking beat Peyton Talbot, or at least it'd be a really close fight with both of those guys. Man, I got to be honest. Felipe Lima is impressive. Jungle Boy is the real deal. When you're beating guys like Miles Johns in your second UFC fight, that's fucking big. I really think that's big. I think this kid's going to put away Peyton Talbot. I don't even think it's going to be that close of a fight. I know he's flashy. I know he's good. I'm just not a believer in him, man. Too many Sean O'Malley references way too early in his career. I don't like it, man. Some of these kids come out of the contender series, and they just put them on these high pedestals and huge expectations, and it's always a letdown. They got to start under promising and over delivering, rather than the latter, which it's been a lot of these guys' hype work from Dana White's Contender Series, which that's why I think the show's so big. But yeah, I think Felipe Lima could be a parlay piece this week. I almost put him on the bus.
Nice. I like it, man. You think you can get him out of there? You said maybe a submission?
Yeah, I think something, man. This kid's real deal, bro.
Yeah.
I like Felipe Lima. He's special.
He's intelligent, too. He's not just skilled. He's smart with the way he sets it up, too. Cal, Peyton Talbot is also Frank Ocean's boyfriend. So maybe the limelight, not good for your fighting career this early on, inexperienced, losing to Raoni Barcelos. Thoughts?
Well, I mean, for him, it's just he's still, like you said, he's got one sort of avenue. He's got his striking, and that's it. He got taken down 8 times by Barcelos. I mean, you got taken down 8 times by Barcelos, and now you're coming up against a guy who's a submission specialist who can get takedowns. So, and then who's not bad on the feet either. So, just for me, I already have a play on this. I have a full method on this one, actually. So I'm going to go actually Lima inside the distance, and then I'm going to go Talbot live. So if he does get up from the ground for whatever reason, we're young here, right? Fighters can improve drastically. So if he gets up from the ground, he is better on the feet. So if we get into that second round and it looks like he can actually weather the storm and we see something that maybe we wouldn't expect, I'll hit it live. But I'm going to go inside the distance with Lima. I really like the submission. I haven't looked at where the value lies. I may lean on the submission because he's just really slick with, he locks in, the way he locks things in, he just secures multiple scenarios. Like he'll secure a limb one way, he'll lock up your legs, he'll lock up things so you have no option to defend, and he's just really, really smart with his grappling. So I'm just all about Lima on this one.
Lima by limb manipulation. You like it, man. Savvy fighter early on. I like it, guys. Man, it's going to be a great fight there. Bantamweight, 2 prospects going at it. And we've covered every fight on this card. Of course, Cedric Dumas and Jackson McVeigh. One more time, Cedric Dumas was caught home invasion hiding in a dog crate. Just have to stress that. Hiding in a dog crate. That's insane to me.
Yo, I got to vent for a minute because I have friends who have legal issues who try to get into the UFC, like multiple people, and some maybe legal issues that warrant you not getting into the UFC. But when you have multiple charges, potentially like spousal situations, whether it's real or not, and I don't know the real legalities of exactly what played out, but it's a multi-billion-dollar corporation, and you have a guy coming in who has 14 charges, and what did I do the real on? Like, in under, 7 years or some stupid shit like that? The guy shouldn't be on television. I'm sorry. Like, I have a kid who is actually sort of into UFC, not watching it exactly, but going to get into training and eventually looked up to some of these people. And there's no room for that guy on there, and I'll even reel this up. I don't care if he sees it. There's no room for the guy in the UFC. Anybody who backs him can kick rocks.
Wow.
These are professional athletes. In other sports, when you get charged with shit, you get kicked off your team. I don't know if they just kick him out of the UFC, but they could. It looks like they already got a replacement. It's going to be Jackson McVeigh versus Christopher Ewart. Never even heard of this guy. It looks like he fought in Fury. We'd have to go watch tape study. Can't even give you guys a lean on that, although I heard a lot of good things about Jackson McVeigh, and I watched one of his fights, and he looks like he's a dog, man. I'm going to be honest, but we'll have to wait and see.
He's fought straight up tomato cans, but he's a big dude. I saw him throw some hard front kicks up the middle, left cross. He's southpaw striker, 6'4". I saw him lace up a nasty Darce choke too, again, over a guy that looked like a janitor, but nonetheless.
Is Ewart a wrestler? I'm trying to remember. That name's familiar. I must have seen
He looked like a dude that was made of Tululian.
Yeah. He was straight up finished. He just finished cleaning the chalkboard.
That's what it is.
He looked like a substitute math teacher.
That's great.
So, guys, we did the damn thing. UFC 317, fellas. Well done. Some great fights, some great fight talk. We got awesome plays. Rewind it, fast forward, go back. Look at what Cal gave you, Mr. Plus, myself, and all of our segments and breakdowns. We got a plus 405 bus. We got a nice plus money, plus 140 Darce parlay together. We got lots of dogs of the week, and we got the chat going off with my guys. Diamond Sparkle, what a name. Efren Palma, Pile Dejan, God, my guy God coming through late. He's going to watch the stream back. One of the best names in the game as well. And we appreciate everyone being here with us. Hit the like button for us. Leave a comment. Let us know what you're thinking about these fights because we're always hearing, listening to what you guys have to say. We're happy to be a part of the Darce podcast with you. And we're here every single week breaking down MMA fights. Cal, thank you for stepping in, man. Slick, like I said, sends his love. Mr. Plus, good luck on your plays. And we'll see you guys every single week right here. Peace.
Jasmine Jastovizzi is here. Don't forget to tap into the Darce podcast.
Cal on the ones and twos. We are live for a fantastic episode. And I am here for a big card.
I just don't know what people seen in tape.
I'll see you when that cash.
The main event of the evening.
This is Matt, the steamroller Frivola. Tap into the Darce podcast for all your MMA bets.